Hello, Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan once more with you from your very own channel Astro Assurance. Today I am going to talk about why are certain energies in a horoscope represented the way they are and what do they mean, and are the planets actually defined the way they are in the Shastras, Shlokas, or there is more deeper meaning to it, and can we also see how the planets are placed in the zodiac and how do they relate to the descriptions in the shlokas about their placements, about their descriptions, about the characteristics about the planets. So firstly, on a generic level, we are told that sun represents the soul and the moon represents the emotions, the manas, the mind, and also the heart. Mercury is buddhi. Venus is relationships, attachments, love, affection, are all our sensual pleasures. Jupiter is the wisdom, and so on. So when you look at the planetary placements in the zodiac, is there a deeper meaning to them? Say for example, the innermost to the solar system is the sun. So sun is the center of the solar system and all planets follow after that. So if sun is the center, the soul is the center, then all the planets come after that. That means the soul's journey is the center of our existence, and the sun represents all that it give our soul the happiness where our soul will shine, and hence the sun's placement in your horoscope is very, very important. It shows where if you do service in the manners of that house, then you can rise, you can shine, and the soul's journey will be helped by you taking that journey. And so the placement of sun in the horoscope is very, very important, and many times enough attention and importance is not given to the sun's placement and what it represents. So sun's representation or placement in the horoscope is very, very important. So see where your sun is placed in the horoscope and try and serve in the direction of that house and that relation the most, and that is where your sun's soul's journey ultimately will lead you to. Now, which is the first planet which comes after the sun? The first planet which comes after the sun and is also called the innermost planet is Mercury. Why does Mercury come after sun rather than the moon, which is the heart and soul or the mother? The reason being is, what is Mercury? Mercury represents, through its Gemini energies, communication and using your hands and feet, using your limbs, and also denotes marketing, represents how to communicate and reach out to people. And also the house of effort, the third house is the house of effort, communication and effort, and where your personality will shine, and use of hands, using your limbs is what the Gemini energies represent. But the Gemini is not the sign which is the Mool Trikona of Mercury. Which is the Mool Trikona of Mercury? It is Virgo. Where does Mercury get exalted in? In Virgo. And so if Mercury gets exalted in Virgo, in its own sign, and it's the Mool Trikona sign, which house does Mercury represent or Virgo represent from Sun? Sun rules Leo, and the next house after Leo is Virgo, which is Mercury sign. And Mercury is also the innermost planet or the second planet or the first planet in the solar system after the Sun. So this has a very, very deep meaning in the horoscope, in the zodiac. Mercury being represented by Virgo, which is the second sign to Leo. And what does Virgo mean, or what does it represent? Virgo represents using your analytical ability and using your analysis and your intellect. Buddh, Mercury is called Buddh, means using your buddhi, which means the soul's journey will come through a proper analysis, proper deep dive, using curiosity, questioning whether you're doing something right or wrong, and using your intellect, using your buddhi to be able to traverse on their journey. But Virgo also represents service. Virgo also represents the 6th house, which is also the Bhrigu Bhav, and it means that the closest to the soul is service, and your analysis, your intellect, your hard work and effort and your communication ability is all given to you to serve. And that's why Mercury is a planet which never moves more than one sign away from the sun. You will never find in any horoscope Mercury being 2 houses or 3 houses away from the sun. It will most of the time be either in the same house as the sun, or one house preceding or post where the sun is placed in the horoscope, which means that service is closest to the soul. But you need to serve through a proper analysis, proper deep dive, using your buddhi, using your intellect, knowing where to serve and how to serve and who to serve. And if you don't know who to serve, then it's a problem. Saturn and Mars are the Karaka of the 6th house, and hence it represents both the Lagna as well as where your service should be, because Saturn is the planet of service. And so service is critical to the soul, and the 2nd house to any house is the earning of that house. So service is the earning of the soul. The 2nd house to the Lagna is also the house of earning and savings. So what is the saving of the soul? By Virgo representing the 2nd house to Leo, which means your soul's earning and your saving is service, and serving with your hands, serving with your intellect, serving through communication, to reaching out, and not to let go of the emotions of service as the primary objective of the soul. And that's why Mercury is the 2nd sign to Leo, and the planet closest to the sun in the zodiac, in the solar system also. And in the horoscope, Mercury will never be one house away from the sun. That's how important the service related energies of Mercury are. But do it intellectually, use your analysis, and don't fall prey to who to serve, who not to serve, but serve diligently, and identify the right people who you can serve to, who you need to reach out. And that's why Mercury also represents communication. Now, what is the planet in the solar system after Mercury? So after the problem solving and the service oriented energies of Mercury comes the energies of Venus. And Venus, by virtually ruling the 3rd sign from the sun, which is Libra, and also the 2nd house from the Lagna, which is Taurus, represents both these energies. Taurus is the sign of money, of savings, of earnings and material pursuits. But Taurus also represents food. Taurus also represents principles. Taurus also represents values that you are born with and what you have got as your legacy. So, but Taurus is not the Mool Trikona sign of Venus. What is the Mool Trikona sign of Venus? The Mool Trikona sign of Venus is Libra. And Libra is the 3rd house from the sign of Leo. And Venus is 3rd from the Sun. Sun, Venus and Sun, Mercury and Venus. So it means your effort, because the 3rd house also means effort. So your effort should be in the line of not money, which Taurus represents, but relationships, which the 7th house or Libra energies represent. And 7th house or Libra energies also represent partnerships, teamwork, working with others, working with your spouse. Also represents the Grihastha Ashram, which means that you are not alone in this world. You need to learn to work with people. You need to learn to make partnerships. You need to learn to work with others. And your business should be to work in the direction of the soul and help the soul earn through service by making relationships, by knowing how to work with others, learning to work with others and forming those relationships, forming those partnerships, and to serve. And through relationship, through serving, through working with others is where the sun's earning or through service and through love and affection. Venus is also your affections, what you love. So what you love should be serving others. Now the 7th house is also the house of business. So the business of the soul is love and affection and relationships, and through those relationships is your earning through service. And that's why Venus is the 3rd sign or the 3rd planet from Leo, and it represents partnerships, relationships, working with others and team, which means you're not an island. You don't come alone in the world. To serve others through relationships, through commitment, with love, with affection is important. Now what is the 4th planet? Now the 4th planet, which is the moon, in the line, because Earth is not counted as the planet which is in part of the horoscope, as part of the zodiac, because from the Earth you are observing everything else, and which is the closest to the Earth after these planets, in the inner planets, then comes moon. Moon is revolving around the Earth. Moon represents the mother's energy. But the interesting thing is, till a woman gives birth, she remains a woman. The mother is born the day when the child comes into the world. So mother's birth comes along with the child's birth. Only when the woman gives birth to a child is a mother also born. And so the motherly affections, supporting, caring, nurturing is the closest to the soul, is the closest closest to you, which is represented by the earth. So nurturing, caring, taking care of others with love and affection is what is represented both by the mind, the manas, and the heart. And that's why the moon is closest to the earth, because you are on the earth. So moon is closest to you. That means love, affection, support and nurturing others should come naturally to you, and that is most important to you, and do it with the right emotions. Don't do it with the emotions of acquiring things, with materialism. Do it with the emotions of serving, of nurturing, of supporting. And that's why Rahu and Ketu are the north node and the south node of the moon, where Rahu represents the mind and Ketu represents the heart. What is the heart? The heart is willing to sacrifice for what you love and care for, or what you believe in. And so Ketu is also a planet of denial. Ketu wants to do for others. Ketu wants you to do for others. Deny yourself those comforts but give to others. And through that attain the elevation of the soul. Whereas Rahu is the mind which focuses on all those things that are materialistic. And so moon's placement closest to the earth, and 4th in line says, because moon also rules the 4th sign, which is Cancer. And moon is also 4th in line from the sun. So if you count sun, Mercury, Venus and then moon, which comes as part of the line with how the planets are arranged in the solar system. And so, but moon represents the materialistic tendencies also, but your emotions also. So the challenge for the mind and the heart for you is that focus on the soul's journey, focus on nurturing and supporting and caring for others, and not chasing materialistic pursuits, and not allowing Rahu to win over Ketu. Ketu represents the higher form of yourself. Rahu represents the meaner and the lower form of the self. So don't allow Rahu to win. It is better that you stick with Ketu. But where does moon get exalted in? Moon gets exalted in Taurus, and Taurus is the 2nd house. 2nd house also represents your principles, your values. So it means that you need to serve with the emotions, but also with the right values. Lead a principled life. Your mind should be occupied and your heart should be occupied with the right principles and values, not chasing materialism. And that's why don't allow Rahu to overcome you. And the 2nd house also means food. And if it means food, then feeding others is the biggest or highest form of service that you can do. So if Virgo represents the 2nd house of service, being the 2nd to Leo, then moon being exalted in Taurus representing principles and food means that you need to serve, and the best service to others is to first feed them. nobody should go hungry. And first, when somebody is not hungry, is fed, then you look at other problems in their life. So first look at their sustenance, first look at their existence. If it's an existential crisis for somebody, feed them and then nurture them and then help them prosper. And that's why moon represents the earning of the soul. Second house is also the house of savings and earnings. When moon being exalted in Taurus, it means the earning of the soul will come through how the mind is focused through serving others, through principles and values, and feeding others. So the feeding of the mouth and then feeding of the soul go hand in hand, and helping people prosper in other directions of life after ensuring that their soul and their stomachs are fed. And moon also represents the mother. Mother also is the epitome of sacrifice, and so sacrifice anything and everything for the soul's journey. If you chase materialism, if you chase the sensual pleasures, and if you are not willing to sacrifice those sensual pleasures in line keeping with your principles and your values and to serve others, then you will be sacrificing moksha itself. So do the right sacrifices and be willing to sacrifice the self for the larger goal of the soul. Then comes, after Earth comes Mars. Now what is Mars? Mars is the Lagna. It is also a head, the thinking power. But Mars also represents goal orientation, having a goal and chasing the goal, and through assertiveness and being very dogmatic, very pragmatic about it, and relentless in the pursuit of getting your goal. Which means that use the Martian energies, but in pursuing your goals. Now interesting thing is, Mars is on the other side of the Earth. It is the outer planet, not the inner planet, which means goal orientation is very important, assertiveness is very important, reaching your goals is very important, but it cannot be sacrificed in the line of materialism, but it should be in the line of the inner planets. What do the inner planets represent? Inner planets represent service, commitment, represent relationships, teamwork, learning to work with others to serve, and through that get the earning of the soul. And so Mars being the outer planet, it separates the goal orientation towards practical things, towards materialistic things, and more towards your karma, your lagna. And what is Mars energies? Mars energies are represented through its Mool Trikona sign, which is Aries, and Sun gets exalted in Aries, which means that you use the Martian energies to truly exalt the soul. That means relentlessly be in pursuit of the goal of the soul, and don't allow the goal orientation towards materialistic things which are on the other side of Mars interfere in the inner side of Mars, which are all about love, affection, relationships, commitment, serving, and through service earning. What on the other side of Mars are Jupiter and Saturn. So Mars represents the goal orientation, the fighting ability, fighting for the soul's journey, but not chasing materialism. Now, and that's why Jupiter comes after Mars, because Jupiter is a planet of beneficity. Jupiter gives you everything. And that's why we love Jupiter. Everybody loves Jupiter, because Jupiter is the planet of prosperity. Venus adds on to what Jupiter will give you, but Jupiter expands. So if you don't have a good Jupiter, then prosperity will not come to you. Better lifestyle, better life quality, better happiness, more abundance will not come to you. And hence Jupiter, representing all of these, prosperity, abundance, comes after Mars, an outer planet to Mars, and all the inner planets is about service, about attainment. Jupiter comes after Mars, and hence through Mars the focus, the goal orientation should be towards inner planetary energies, which are all about service, commitment, teamwork. Now what does Jupiter represent? Apart from prosperity, abundance, all good things in life that life can give you, all are represented by Jupiter. But what is the Mool Trikona sign of Jupiter? It is Sagittarius. How many signs is Sagittarius away from Leo? It is 5 signs away. and fifth house to a house is also the house of gains. But Sagittarius has also dharma energies, and Mars sign Aries also lies ninth from Leo. So both of these together, Mars sign Aries being the ninth from Leo, also represent dharma, doing duty, and Sagittarius is also the ninth sign from the Lagna, and fifth from the Sun also means gains, and it will come to you of the soul. Gains of the soul will come to you through doing your duty, through doing your dharma. Not running away from your duties, not running away from your dharma is what will also bring you the prosperity of the soul. So the defining line between prosperity in the world and prosperity of the soul comes from the energies which Jupiter represents, and hence Jupiter also represents Pisces, which is the final sign and the sign which goes after that you attain moksha, or means the sign which is on the cusp of getting you to moksha or reaching the higher realm. If not moksha, the elevation of the soul comes after Pisces energies, and hence Jupiter rise after the Martian energies, which means use the wisdom to have the dividing line between materialistic pursuits that Jupiter gives through its abundance, through its benefit giving nature, and the other side is you are given enough wisdom to not chase materialism, not chase the abundance that Jupiter promises, which will come to you if you have a good Jupiter, but through wisdom. But the spiritual side of the ninth house, which is the dharmic side, the dharma, the duty side, forces you or tells you to do your duty first, and your duty should be, or your dharma should be, to elevate the soul and through being benefit to everybody else. Only when you benefit to everybody else in your family, in your extended society, in your friendship and in the neighborhood, only then can the dharma or your soul do its dharma, soul do its duty. And the duty is to be a benefit person to everybody else. The more beneficial you are to everybody else, the more rise in the soul that you will get through the Sagittarius energies, which are also attached through Jupiter with the Piscean energies. So dharma and moksha go hand in hand, go together. And the ninth house being the biggest house of gains and fate and luck, means your luck and fate of your karma will come to you through doing your dharma. So the fate and luck will open for you, the doors of moksha will open for you when you do your duty and you do your dharma, which is represented by Sagittarius energies, which is represented by Jupiter being the next planet after Mars. But if you count from the Sun, which number is Jupiter? You have Sun, Mercury, Venus, then Moon, which is closest to the Earth, then Mars, and then Jupiter. So Jupiter is the sixth in line from the Sun. In the solar system, Jupiter is the sixth planetary energy or the sixth heavenly body. What is the sixth sign? It's Virgo. And Virgo is the earning of the soul. And so Jupiter in its true forms being sixth from Sun, just like Virgo is sixth from Aries, from the Lagna, Jupiter being the sixth in line in the solar system from the Sun means Jupiter's main energies are to serve, and you need to serve, and your dharma is to serve. And without service, the doors of fate and luck will not open to you, moksha will not open for you. And Jupiter, apart from representing wisdom that you use not to chase materialism but to chase the soul's journey and to serve others, but Jupiter also represents expansion, which means the larger heart you will have. And Jupiter, mind you, gets exalted in Cancer. Cancer is ruled by Moon. Moon represents both the mind and the heart. And so the larger the heart you have, where Jupiter gets exalted, so the higher, the better energies Jupiter will represent. So have a large heart, forgive others, be more benefit to others, share your prosperity and your abundance with others. And that's why Jupiter represents abundance and prosperity. The prosperity and abundance which Jupiter brings you, or the ninth house gives you, the fate and luck doors open to you, are to share with others. And that's why Jupiter is the planet of expansion and gets exalted in Cancer. Cancer represents both your mind and your heart. And that's why these are all very, very karmic energy. They signify a lot of karmic relations and karmic threads to each other, which sometimes we miss. And through this large-heartedness of Jupiter, you need to be the biggest benefit to others, have a large heart in the line of duty, in the line of serving others, Jupiter being the sixth in line, to get the earnings of the sun, of the soul, which is through service. And hence Jupiter means the planet of expansion, means the biggest giver of the earnings to the sun or to the soul will come from Jupiter, you being able to use your wisdom and sharing your beneficity or your abundance of prosperity which the Lord has given to you to others also. So the abundance with the prosperity that the Lord gives to you is not only for yourself and your family, but for others. The Lord has identified you as a means for others, not only for yourself. Know that. Now the last planet in the solar system, at least in Vedic astrology that we use, is Saturn. But why is the planet of karma, of duty, of commitment, of organization and structure the furthest away from the sun? It means, and Saturn is, mind you, a karmic equalizer, represents the karma, the 10th house, which means that the karma and equalizing the karma, letting go of the karmic debt will not come easy to you. And Saturn represents the last house, the last planet, represents that after this only you will get moksha. Only if after you completely give in to commitment, completely be loyal to the soul's journey, will moksha come to you. It will not come easy to you. The soul will be chasing moksha, will be chasing to let go of its karmic debt, equalize its karma, but that will not come easy to you. That will be furthest away from you unless and until you carry all the energies of Mercury, of Venus, of Moon, of Mars, of Jupiter, and you use all of the energy, use all of these energies well to do your karma, to shed your karmic debt. Then will moksha come to you. So the moksha comes at the end. What is Saturn's Mool Trikona sign? It is not Capricorn, it is Aquarius, and Aquarius is the last sign before Pisces, and Pisces is the next real to moksha. So Saturn's Aquarius energies and Mool Trikona sign says 11th house is also the house of society, serving to society, being of service to society through commitment, through organized structure. And whose society? The lowest of the lowest strata, the people who serve you, the bottom of the heap. They deserve your attention, your focus, your loyalty, your commitment first, and then the others, and then only will moksha come to you. So moksha will not be easy. It is furthest away from the soul, and all these planetary energies in between, in the middle, will help the soul attain the final journey that Saturn will help you achieve. But Saturn is also the planet which represents challenges, issues, grief. That means the grief, the challenges and issues will be kept furthest away from you if you are focused on service to others, if you are focused on earning for your soul rather than your materialistic pleasures. Then all these issues, the challenges will be farthest away from you, and they open all these challenges, issues will only help you to attain moksha, to get to the next realm. And that's why Saturn is the last planetary energy in the solar system. It represents the last step towards moksha, but it also represents that all the issues, the challenges will all be kept away from you. But if you are able to handle them well, if you are able to face them well, using all the energies in between of Mercury, of analytical ability, of serving, of using problem solving, of using curiosity, of using your emotions of the moon, of using relationships which Venus represents, of using a goal orientation which Mars represents, of being large-hearted and using a wisdom which Jupiter represents, then will moksha come to you. And Saturn hence will open the door of moksha when your karmic journey is through all of this earning and collecting the earning of the soul. And so each of the planetary energies represents why they are placed in a certain order in the solar system, many times which you don't focus on that. But if you keep in line why planets are placed in a certain order from the sun and what they represent, eventually leading into Saturn, the karmic equalizer, and the next step towards moksha. Only then can you truly understand and use the energies of all these planets well. So friends, look into your own horoscope, see where the sun is placed, where these planetary energies are placed, which all of them represent as I have described to you, as the shlokas described to you. And hence, deep dive into your horoscope, understand them well, understand what does your 6th house energies represent, which direction is it helping you to serve, what are your 2nd house energies, how do you use your earnings and savings to help others, to feed the poor, how you use Sun, Jupiter's energies to share your prosperity with and abundance with others, how you use your Venus energies to create relationships, maintain relationships, and to help others, and to effort in the direction of the soul's journey and not materialistic journeys, and through that attain your spiritual elevation, the soul's elevation. So friends, like this video, share this video, and if you're looking for a personal consultation from me, please reach out to me at the links given below. Until some other time with some other video, this is your friend, astrologer and guide Irfan signing off. Ciao.